getting close to the end of May, and it is cold out this morning. It's only it's about 10 degrees. It says it feels like 7, and they ain't lying, let me tell you, because it is cold out this morning. It's breezy, so don't mind the toque and the winterish garb here. The kids were making fun of me today. I can't remember if I bought this toque for them or not, but I'm wearing it and I don't care. I want to talk to you guys about how reselling is going and what I think is going to happen down the road in the future here. So I don't think it looks too great, honestly, and I'm going to explain why. I have a few different points to go over. Get right into it if I don't freeze to death out here. If you're like me and you frequent thrift stores, even a couple times a month like I do, you will notice the prices are getting absolutely astronomical and sometimes even above normal retail or eBay prices. There's a few caveats to this. One is Goodwill is definitely online and has a huge presence. I don't know about Savers Value Village. I don't believe they do, but I could be very wrong on that. Now they know that they can command top dollar for these things online and get to a much broader customer base. That's exactly what they're going to do. Thrift stores, you have to understand, they were never friends to resellers. They don't give a shit about resellers, guys. And anyone that is reselling, you know, more power to you if you're still killing it. Just my observations on how reselling has been going in the past couple of years and where I think it's headed, that's all. Thrift stores are just, they're out to make money for their shareholders, don't kid yourself. Even the mom and pop thrift stores around, I've noticed the prices are just outrageous. Now, I do understand the mom and pop prices being higher because they have to actually go out and source the stuff, and a lot of times they do have to pay for it. So I can see why they would have to charge high prices, but there's a couple in particular around in my, not necessarily in my area, but the cities that abut us. Prices are absolutely crazy in there now. And I feel bad for some of them because some of them, they will be sitting on a lot of dead inventory and it just won't move. And it really is sad. I'm sure they bought this stuff, a lot of it, at the height of COVID. Most of these places, I don't think they get too many donations, if at all. So they have bought everything. Just for an example, like, a lot of them will have like the loose Mo2 Origins, just the base figures that all went on clearance, but they're trying to get like 30 or 35 bucks for them. So I don't know if they paid like 20 or 15, and these are just the minis, they're not even the big ones. Or out of the like very cheap PS2 360 Wii games, and I'm talking about like the super cheap ones that no one really wants, that you could hardly give away even at a yard sale for $1. You know, 5, 10, 15, $20 on them. Like, it's just stuff that's absolutely has no chance of selling anymore. But not to ramble on too much about the thrift stores, we all know their game and their shtick by now. They are ripping people off, in my opinion. I still see a lot of resellers in there scanning books and that. At some point, they'll even get onto that because they watch. They know what people are doing. They know what they're scanning and they know what they're selling for. Already happened with basically the video games, even the media like DVDs and Blu-rays, CDs, cassettes. They just keep continually raising the prices, so they definitely are watching this stuff online, guys. Everything will be eBay prices, but in the store. Really shop there is if someone messes up, or you might be able to save the shipping cost on an eBay type order. That's about it, honestly. And if you can find it on Marketplace, you can save the tax and haggle a little bit and probably get it a bit less. So that's why I think the thrift stores are just not going to be a viable option in the next 5 to 10 years. You know, if you're reselling, you'll have to pivot for sure. Next thing I've noticed is Facebook Marketplace. If you go on there now, 90% of the posts on there seem like they're professional sellers now. They're not like the old lady unloading a Wii console and a couple games for 10 bucks, or, you know, a PS3 for 40 bucks and a, you know, a stack of 10 games or something. All of the resellers have migrated to Facebook Marketplace. This has really done, it's taken a lot of the deals off Marketplace. Now remember, this is specific to my area, guys. This may not be specific to your areas. Each area has a different pocket. I know this is an area about 2 hours from me. There's 1 or 2 that seems to have pretty reasonable deals still, so I assume there's not a huge amount of resellers there or something. I don't know. Tim and I and Dave have discussed this, and we all have seen it because we all kind of look at the same junk on there. So it's a little strange. Good for the people that are buying in that area though, 100%. Really, now that eBay sellers can put listings into Facebook Marketplace, if you didn't know that, which is really strange. Facebook Marketplace being like a garage sale type of site is over. If you look at categories like I do, the toys, the video games, and I look for stuff for myself too, don't get me wrong, and I do find the odd deal in there. especially with the video games and toys. Everyone that's selling on there now is a reseller, and the prices are just stupid. It's to the point where there's no true just, hey, I have a garage sale site, I want to get rid of this stuff, I want to sell it, I don't need top dollar for it, I don't want top dollar for it. It's like it's just taken over everything. It is unfortunate, and like I said, I resell to buy video games. Claims otherwise, you know, it is what it is. I live near a golf course and there's train tracks close by too, guys, so a neighbor's trying to get across the track, so I think he had to wait to get across. He was gonna go hit a few off the course this morning. So anyways, I guess we'll move along from Facebook Marketplace and all its inadequacies now. The next one we'll jump into is the actual economy itself. Being up here in Canada, our economy has slowed to a crawl. Unemployment's getting really high, guys. Let me adjust you there, you're a little out of whack. As I was saying, the economy's slowed down to a crawl. Consumer spending is way down, but most of us can see it. Like, I know we spend less, and everyone I know spends less. Like, for my American friends and overseas, we had this carbon tax. It was called a consumer carbon tax. I forget what the percentage of it was. It was so much per ton. As an example, I think it was about 14 cents a liter on gasoline and diesel fuel, and then, you know, natural gas and stuff, probably the same sort of thing. I think it was on hydro too. It did do a rebate every quarter. You'd get like $250 or something back from the government to kind of subsidize this stuff. It's all kind of silly. I mean, I don't see the point of doing that. If you're going to subsidize it, you might as well just not have it. But I think it all kind of turned into a wash. I think both people believed it was going to lower the prices on everything drastically, and it just simply won't. The prices are the prices, guys. They're not going to go down. People are just getting squeezed now. They don't have money for all this extra junk. They're just getting squeezed for everything now. Not a lot of extra money in the economy. That's what it feels like to me. You might see it for yourself. I know now when we do go to the thrift stores, everyone's just scanning books and shit with their phone. They're not in there buying stuff for themselves. So the actual consumer spending to buy things that you need or you may want is really low. But if you're a reseller that's doing it full-time, day-to-day, it's going to be a little more difficult, I think. And I think it's just going to keep getting more difficult. I honestly don't see our economies rebounding in North America. I just don't, guys. I think this is going to be the new norm. We're going to go through a big period of depression here, and I honestly don't know if we can come out of it. Just because it's a world economy now. It's not the 50s to 80s where there's a ton of manufacturing and stuff that, you know, you would go through your dips and highs and stuff. I got this really bad feeling that it's never going to get much better than it is now, and this is going to be the new norm. And it could be like this forever, you know. Some of the corporate tax rates and stuff got lowered here in Canada and the US to entice these large businesses in. Class seemed to start shrinking, and that's just my own observation. I could be totally out to lunch here. I'm not really affiliated with any party. It's just that's my own opinion, is that if the money flows up, inflation goes up, people have less money, everything gets depressed, and then at some point you get to a point where it can't turn around and come back. And I think we're at that point. I think the reselling here in the next few years is going to suffer. I've seen a lot of YouTubers that are on eBay that do it full time and stuff, and they say their sales down, they're pivoting to doing online auctions and stuff like that. And yeah, I mean, I don't blame them. If that's your full income, that's going to be a tough ride, man, I'm telling you. The information age is another thing completely. Everyone knows the prices on this stuff, so when someone knows the value of something that they have, they're not gonna just give it away anymore. You see this a lot more at yard sales now, people putting higher prices on it. Blame them, like they're trying to get as much money as they can, especially with the way things are going. Now that everyone knows to check eBay or check Facebook Marketplace or, you know, whatever site, maybe even Kijiji, they're not gonna sell this stuff for cheap. So the old honey holes that we used to go for collecting are drying up. You definitely see it in the yard sales. Like, you go out and there is not a bountiful supply of like video games anymore. People are asking, like, you know, retail for tools, you know, and stuff. Not that I buy them, I always look at pricing when I go out. They'll get deals on clothes and shoes and stuff like that, which is good. Other stuff has just been ruined by the online marketplace. You know, and that's the way it is. Everything's digital now, right? And if you do expect to survive reselling, then I guess you're gonna have to adapt to that. But you will notice a lot of the YouTubers now, you know, Phoenix Resale, Chase, Rick, they've leveraged themselves so they have their fans doing the work and buying the product for them. Good for them. I get why they do it. The average person that I would say does things for a hobby like myself, you're not going to really compete with that too much. You can get the odd thing, but you know, I'm not going to drop 20 grand on a game collection or something and then, you know, try to sell it in 6 months. That's pretty stupid in my opinion. Slide into the next part is the online personalities are cornering the market on a ton of this stuff. So you figure if these guys have, you know, 100, 200,000 subscribers, think about how many people they have out all over North America looking for stuff for them so that they can send it in. They'll get half of the value. They don't want to do any more of the work than that. Then they'll send it to these guys. They'll inflate the price and then they'll sell it. To me, that's not a sustainable business model because at some point, people will quit paying $70 for Mario Kart. They won't pay like $50 for Super Mario Bros. Wii, you know. And even if you can get these on eBay, you're going to end up paying friggin' $10, $20 shipping, even if the price is lower. So you're screwed either way. And if the collectors quit collecting some of this stuff, again, this will further kill the reselling market. It's just to me that there's so many ticking time bombs that some of these will go off and it'll just be like, and you know, and it won't be like an overnight thing, but it will be a slow decline. Thing we'll touch on really quick is there's also a lot of outside influence. Now there's outside influence due to world trading and stuff. I mean by outside influence, you know, stuff like it's a world economy now. So you can look for something from any part of the world to try to acquire it. It's such a huge competitive scene. And also another thing, there's stuff that's just beyond your control, you know, like the price of shipping materials or the cost of goods. Here in Canada, our postal service had a strike, you know, over December. That was the busy season. It totally killed the fourth quarter of the year. And now it's May, I think May 22nd, they're supposed to decide whether they're going to strike again. This could go on all summer, guys. They don't have a collective bargaining agreement. And it's just stuff like that you have no control over. And, you know, if Canada Post strikes for half the year or something, it's going to kill the economy even worse. And, like, if you're reselling, forget about it unless you do all local because the shipping cost is way too expensive. Canada Post up here, shipping like a movie or a video game is relatively cheap. And it's a flat rate for everywhere. So I can ship a video game under 200 grand up to Nunavut for $4.85. You know, if I was going to do that through UPS, it'd probably be like $40. Canada Post doing that, you'd basically shut your store down. There's no point shipping through UPS. And if you're shipping larger goods, you can get by. For stuff like media and smalls, no point shipping it through UPS, Purolator, you know, FedEx. The prices are just insane. I hate people saying, oh, we need to privatize Canada Post. If we do that, it'll crush the economy, guys. I have a feeling at some point reselling and I'm mostly talking about categories that I like to buy stuff in, you know, vintage games and toys from the 80s, you know, stuff like that. You know, other stuff I don't know a lick of shit about and I'm not going to pretend to. I don't care. This is just what I'm seeing, the stuff I collect. And this is why collecting is getting so stupid, because everything has an inflated markup. And really, no one has money anymore anyways, so who the hell's gonna buy it? I don't know. It's all doom and gloom here today, I guess. It kind of fits with the weather, I suppose. I hope you guys are having an awesome day. If you're killing it reselling it, you can let me know. Most people I know that are reselling are just, you know, they're puttering away at it. And there's not too much going on in that front, so if you like the content, please like, comment, subscribe. Appreciate you sticking around. Everyone have a good day. Peace.